Hello and welcome to today's Halloween episode of TRPG. I am Nikki, and today I am dressed as my D&D character for our upcoming Besieged by the Dead campaign, Isadora Davinia Renata Furtado, and you can call her Dora for short. Lucy?
Well, hi, I'm Reese. Today, I'm dressed as the only costume I know, an evil queen. Nikki, what are you drinking today?
I actually am drinking one of Friday's seasonal things that are going on right now, which is the caramel apple, um, like caramel apple tea, basically. And it really does taste like I'm drinking a liquid caramel apple, and it's really good.
That sounds delicious, kind of like hot cider.
A little bit, yeah, but with black tea in it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm just drinking peppermint because my stomach is so mad at me today, but at
Oh
least I have it
no!
in my queen cup, so it matches my outfit.
Aw, amazing. Well, was there anything in particular you wanted to chat about before we bring on our first guest?
Let's actually talk about some of the cool things we've been doing on the show over the month. Anything that people have missed and that's showing up on YouTube now.
Yeah, so we had, I believe, the first week of October, we wrapped up on our Beyond the Corridor campaign that ran, and we had Formations just wrapped yesterday, and then we have tonight after this, so about 4 p.m. Pacific, I will be running our pre-recorded one shot of 10 Candles, which we recorded over 2 nights, and is a very dark horror campaign, so perfect for Halloween. But if you have a lot of different triggers and dark apocalyptic style things are not for you, take a look at those content warnings. We will have a visual content warning up before the show starts, so you'll be able to make that decision if you want to watch it.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch that. I've never really seen any spooky RPGs, so I want to know what the nature of that is for sure.
Yeah, and we used a lot of safety tools, which is super important. And one of TTRPG's policies is that we each GM has to run a session zero. So we did have a session zero and talked about our limits and all of these different things, and established language that we could share using the X and O system to make sure that everyone was okay, and even like checked each other's triggers before we would make decisions, because we had like a spreadsheet, so we knew exactly what they were. And then also ask permission. There was a little bit of PvP at the end, but I did ask for permission before I made that choice. So definitely a very good communicative group, and so good that we requested somebody run Vampire the Masquerade for this group, and so that's going to be happening sometime next year, and I'm really excited. Anyway, so we have really cool guests. Reese, do you want to introduce our first guest?
Of course. You know her, you love her, the entity born of love, light, and just the right amount of stardust. Please hype her up. Dare.
Hype, 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 hype.
Hi. I forgot how extra that intro was. Oh no. Hi everyone.
Yeah, I love that intro. It gives me a lot of wonder as to who you are. So I'm glad that I get to interview you today.
I'm excited.
I was looking through researching some of the stuff you do, and it's a lot. So let's just get started with, I see that you wrote a book. Tell me more about that.
All right. When we say a book, do we mean a book of poetry? Because that is the thing. I normally, so this is the thing. I do too much that it's hard for me to remember. So I help edit a decent amount of books and stuff, but I also wrote a book of poetry, like a chapbook a few years back now, called Constantly Here, Constantly Queer, which is one that I've been meaning to go back to, especially because like that was in the beginning of me transitioning, and I've been wanting to revisit that several years older, and just like just more experience, more in that space. But I also edit sensitivity, right? Occasionally work on TTRPG books. I do way too much.
Yeah. So what got you into RPGs then?
College.
Mm-hmm.
Some of my friends were running D&D. This was right 2014, so this is right when 5e was dropping.
Mm-hmm.
Or I guess end of 2014, beginning of 2015, 5e was dropping. And I was just sort of hung out. I'd never like played D&D. I'd only known it like tangentially. So I was like, yeah, sure. Like I'd love to play. I'd seen like I was a big community fan, so I'd seen like the community D&D episodes,
Mm-hmm.
and that was like my closest relationship to any tabletop stuff. So like, yeah, no, absolutely. And yeah, that's pretty much the exact moment that my life irrevocably changed.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting how something that it's even hard to like explain to somebody that has no idea about it, and then the moment that you are in it, you'll never be the same.
Yeah, pretty much.
So tell us about your character in the upcoming campaign of Besieged by the Dead.
Yes, Lotus Flower in Bloom, my lovely little tabaxi. Um, I I like making. I have like three archetypes of character, which are charismatic bastard, because I'm good at that. Um, just well-meaning and very kind person. And then just a trans girl going through it, which is another specialty I've been really hitting hard lately. Um, but I was like, I'm gonna make someone who's very nice, but because it's gonna be something that's like more spooky and like it's Falcovania or Falc. I bad at saying it. I was like, I'm gonna add just a little bit of an extra twist and add like a fun little symbiote in there. So there's just a little symbiote called Scary, who's just there to have bad vibes to counteract every good vibe I bring, and I'm excited for that.
So tell me, I want to make sure that I understand correctly, but what is a symbiote?
Think Venom.
Okay, that's what I was thinking, like an alter ego kind of.
Yeah, it's just kind of like a little bug thing that's just going to be like hanging out. Like whenever I'm just like, hey, I have a good idea. It's going to be there to say, on second thought, how about this idea? And I love that sort of bad vibes.
Awesome. So do you find it cathartic to role play different things you're going through?
Yes. Short answer, yes. I mean, honestly, so much of like what I do is uncomfortably personal, and it's the way I like to work, honestly. Like all of my writing and stuff comes from the place of like most of my poems start as vent poetry that I just clean up a little bit to make them slightly more palatable, take out a name if I need to, but all of my stuff comes right from the core of me. So I think I give my best work when it's gonna punch me in the chest.
Yeah. I always used to like feel like punching myself about the fact that I keep creating like the same character and it's kind of just being myself. But when you're role playing, you're doing things that you wouldn't be doing in real life. So I think it's okay to kind of play as a character that is basically you, just in a different world.
Yeah, I mean, like archetypes exist for a reason, and like when you, like I mean, like nothing is wholly original. So
Right.
it's just taking something that's familiar and putting it through slightly different ground. And due to the nature of tabletops, between the GM, the system, whoever you have at the table with you, it's never going to be the same. It's how reality TV works, honestly.
Yeah, and that's even how like writing works. When you're writing your poetry, it's gonna be about experiences and things that you know, or else how would you be able to write about it?
Yeah, like I was never good at creative writing in the sense of like making fantastical stuff. It always required way more planning and like staging than I like.
Yeah.
But I do love so much about tabletop because it cuts out the middleman, which is me having to do all the writing. And instead, I get to hang out with some of my favorite people and then have them all help me do the writing.
So I was reading on your site and you play a character named Gentle. Tell me about that.
Oh no, my baby. Yes. Okay. So Gentle is my character from Transplanar RPG. First off, shouts out to Transplanar. They're wonderful. I've been part of a mini series with them, and Gentle is once again one of my kind characters. Maybe my single nicest character I've ever made. They're Triton, who is just very like tea drinking, very soft, very wholesome, just here for a good time. Up until last episode. I guess minor spoiler warning for Transplanter RPG. But yeah, no, I had a pet wolf and my pet wolf was stolen. So I'm currently entering what I'm calling my Joker arc. I'm going full Gentle Wick, and I'm here for it.
I was about to say it's John Wick, right?
Is this something you planned for your character?
No, not at all. Like, I wanted their kindness to be tested, I guess, ultimately, and reach a point of like, how much can you give before you're like, I think my goal is for them to go from being a nice character to a kind character. And I think a kind person is someone who's able to set their own boundaries and have limits for themselves versus someone who is, trying to fulfill something through just being nice. So this is absolutely going to be the thing that wraps us around to kind ultimately. I hope. I think so. I'm very excited. We have 2 episodes left for that, and Transplanter has been such a fun group to work with.
Nice. So I saw that you have written some games. What's the creative process with that?
Oh boy, my creative process. All right. For the record, I do have ADD. I need to say this up front because what you're going to hear will be upsetting. My process is either done in an hour in a hyperfixation stupor, or it will take 7 months, and there's no in between. Of the 3 games I have on itch right now, When the Sun Dies is the one I feel the fondest for. It's my little baby. I have gotten to run that and play in it on a stream, and it's great. And boy, is it miserable! But I did write that in the middle of a D&D stream.
Oh.
I was in the middle of combat, and like it had been something that was sitting in my brain for like a while. So I was like, let me write this now here in the middle of doing combat. I'm gonna write it, format it, put it all out. Because it's all or nothing. I needed to ride the wave of ADD at that moment.
So how many have you written then?
Ones that are released are 3.
Okay.
Ones that are in the works are, I think, 5.
That makes sense. So excited to see the whole 5.
They'll be out at some point in the next decade.
Right.
That's all I can guarantee.
There's no deadline. So you stream on Twitch, right? What games are you streaming?
For myself, I'm pretty bad about streaming. I'm trying, and Animal Crossing is going to be what pulls me back into trying to stream on my own channel. Absolutely. But I stream tabletop stuff, and I like to guest a million places because I don't know what it is about the act of like guesting on stuff. It does a lot better for my brain.
Yeah.
But yeah, guessing on everything is what helps me. So Transplanter's current the Grove with Thorny Dryad, and very lovely people, someone who may be showing up later today, doing something maybe coming up soon. I constantly have a million projects. I'm doing a superhero one of Masks currently on Saturdays, which has been a ton of fun with RF Chaos. It's really hard for me to remember everything I do, though, because I'm just bouncing around too many places.
So even if it's hard to remember what you already are doing, what do you want to stream in the future?
I'm always down for anything supers. I'm just a sucker for supers at all times. But excuse me. I'm a sucker for supers. I've been wanting to try Pathfinder. I have not played any Pathfinder 2 yet.
Yeah.
Which is weird considering how many people I know who like do Pathfinder stuff.
Yeah.
And I've never actually got to play a mech game, and that is a travesty because I love mechs so much. It is wild. I've not played Lancer or Beam Saber, anything like that. So I need to get that fixed. And I've been wanting to play through Hades and just all of Supergiant's back catalog, because I'm a big fan of Supergiant. I've been since Bastion came out, but I've been wanting to like play them in a row just to like sort of like get a feel for the design template and how they grew as creatives.
Nice. Okay. Well, since it is Halloween, it's the spooky day. What do you like or not like about Halloween, and do you have any plans this year?
Halloween is really silly to me, actually, considering how much I dress up for characters now.
Right.
So it has lost a lot of the luster simply because I'm dressed up a million times a week now. It's really fun. But I think it is always just nice I like seasonal holidays because it does mean it's an excuse to get a lot of people together or cook seasonal foods. And I like cooking a lot. So the holidays mean, even if it's Halloween, it means let's get together, watch some movies. I can make a stew or something that's like built for like cold weather, nice and cozy. We'll watch something like that. And that sort of ties together with what I did because tonight I don't really have any plans. But I had a party with some friends Friday, and what we did was we just watched a ton of cartoons. We just watched a bunch of watched Recess, we watched We Bare Bears, we watched just a ton of like stuff from when we were younger, and just had like snacks and pizza, and it was just a really nice way of like enjoying like the Halloween weather.
Recess is from when I was a kid.
Yeah,
I was a kid then too. I'm 25.
Okay, you're 10 years, you're literally 10 years younger than me.
I had a good memory.
Are you a fan of like any scary movies?
Yes. Me and my partners watched Scream last night just because one of them had not seen it. Wow. And then I just at work, I just had a huge conversation about horror. I'm a big fan of really bad horror movies, actually. Every year I preach the gospel of Jason X because it is the worst and best Friday the 13th movie.
Yeah.
Prove me wrong. It's so terrible, but I watch it every year.
Well, when they are the worst, then it makes it less scary. I'm not really into scary movies. I like definitely still like close my eyes when I know that something's going to get bloody, but I'll watch it.
I like psychological horror. I was a big Silent Hill fan as a kid. Like growing up, I really played those a lot. Yeah. So I don't like slashers never really get me. I have a good like sense of pacing for when like something will jump out. But that's like why I'm like, I don't even want to try to watch the best ones. I want to watch the garbage. The garbage ones are going to be so much better for me.
Right. Well, I'm going to wrap us up here, but I just wanted to ask if you have any cool projects coming up. I know you've mentioned Masked, but is there anything else?
Yeah, no, I am going to be, of course, back here doing some cool stuff. I have an Invisible Sun game that's coming up very soon as well. That I'm going to be juggling my schedule with. I have a couple of very fun podcasts that I legally shouldn't talk about quite yet because I'll get in trouble and yelled at.
Well, that sounds exciting. Thank you so much for coming on the show. It was really, really fun getting to talk to you.
This was delightful. Thank you so much.
All right, our next guests released their debut album, I Want a Refund, at the start of September. It was produced by the Double Clicks, and you should definitely check it out because it's awesome. Welcome, Sunday Comes Afterwards, aka Stefani.
Sorry. Hi there.
Hello. You can take it away whenever you're ready. We can ask you some questions afterwards.
Cool. Okay, so this is a song about the first season of She-Ra from the perspective of the best character, by which of course I mean Catra. I'm just going to take my headphones off so I can hear what I'm doing. Okay. Hey Adora, what's it like in the rebellion? I'm 1,000 miles away, but that means nothing to a hellion. Get a clue. Bright moon can't shine as bright as you. I swear it's true. Hey Adora, don't you worry about the distance. I'm right there to take you back when you get over your resistance, 'cause we're friends. Together we'll achieve our ends. Come make amends. Oh, it's what you do to me. oh, my lifelong frenemy. Oh, Adora, can't you see? Oh, it's what you do to me, what you do to me. Hey Adora, well you've always been protected. You're Shadow Weaver's favorite, you're the one that she selected as her pet. Bet you think I'm in your debt, oh I just bet. Hey Adora, I've got nothing more to say. Maybe once we were a team, but now you've thrown it all away and left the horde. Who cares about your fancy sword? I say I'm bored. Oh, it's what you do to me. Oh, my lifelong frenemy. Oh, Adora, can't you see? Oh, it's what you do to me. What you do to me. Sorry, you'll find it hard to keep your calm when I attend the Princess Prom where etiquette demands they let me stay. This time I will take the lead, and though you'll try to intercede, your sword is coming back with me today. Adora, I can promise you that by the time that we get through, the world will never ever be the same, and you're to blame. Hey Adora, save your righteous indignation. Though you had me playing sidekick, that was not my aspiration, just respect. Don't even try to interject. I'm not a weakling to protect. Hey Adora, go get wrecked. You heard correct. Oh, it's what I'll do to you. Now I'm Hordax number 2. The rebellion will be through. Oh, it's what I'll do to you. What I'll do to you.
Yay! So good. I love it. I love parodies already, like on top of loving She-Ra. And I am a total brat and requested that you sing that song just so I could do my Catra impression, which is "Hey Adora." So
Nikki, have you heard that song before?
yes.
It was played?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I always check out our musical guests before I bring them on, because we like to do that and make sure that the kind of material they're putting out are things that we want to bring on a TTRPG. And so many delightful, fun, geeky, wonderful, happy songs that just made me giggle and happy. And clearly you're a fan of She-Ra because you just nailed everything about that show. My girlfriend says, totally, the song of someone who is not obsessed with She-Ra. So you have a really interesting tea routine for when you're performing. So what's in your cup today?
Okay, so my cup today is a mixture of Celestial Seasonings Sleepy Time, which is basically spearmint and chamomile and some other herbs, and also liberally laced with Papacoa cough syrup, which is basically honey plus various other herbs, and I call it Savani's placebo.
Somebody's placebo. Love it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Reese, you have any questions?
I just had a realization. Are you dressed as Steven Universe?
More or less, yes. I mean, it's not that much of a costume, but but yes.
Awesome. So what made you start in music? What are you working on?
So I mean, I've been writing song parodies and whatnot since I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I always liked music. I actually wrote this really maudlin journal entry like 2 decades ago about how like I had poured basically I was really into English and music, but I poured all my skill points into English, and maybe there's some other timeline out there where I became a musician instead, and I wonder if I'm happier there, and and I was sure that was going to be it, and then part of it was I never had the discipline to practice an instrument, and the ukulele came into my life, and really Hurricane Sandy came into my I had a week with no power and a ukulele, and I started playing it, and I've been playing ever since. So I mean, there's that, and YouTube came along. So I mean, it used to be if you wanted to get anywhere in music, you had to be professionally good in a way that I am not. I'm not bad, but I'm good. I'm good at being me, but I'm not good at being a record label's idea of what a musician is. So suddenly, people like me were out there doing music like the kind of thing that I'm into, who have similar influences to me, and I suddenly realized that this is actually something I could do. And yeah, I forget what the original question was, but I think it was something along those lines.
Yeah.
You answered it.
And so you mentioned YouTube. Is that like how you were able to learn how to play, or are you posting on YouTube and not for your audience?
Both. Mostly, most of the form. I mean, yeah. Sorry, I'm largely, I guess, kind of self-taught. I have watched some tutorials on YouTube, but mostly it's just most of the way I work is I pick a song that I can't play yet and try to figure out try to learn how to do it, and in doing that, end up getting skills because I don't have this discipline to practice like scales and whatnot on my own. But certainly how I've gotten interested in all this is really, I mean, Miley Lewis, Julian Nunez, other people, like it seemed like everybody on YouTube was playing the ukulele and having a lot of fun doing it. And I did not want to be the last person on the internet without a ukulele. But yes, I do have a channel on there as well. I'm at youtube.com/SundayComesAfterwards. And I started originally posting stuff on there largely because I wanted to track my own progress and see, going from not being very good to being marginally better. And it has worked for that. But also, I now have a fairly extensive back catalog on there. So that's been nice as well.
All right. And so do you play RPGs?
Not really. I used to back in the day. And back in the day, in my case, was Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, what would later be called First Edition. So that's going back a while, to be honest.
Well, awesome. Thank you so much for playing for us. We get to hear from you again, right?
Yep.
All right. Well, I'm excited.
Thank you.
Wonderful. All right. So we are going to bring on our next guest. Max is a professional game master and published game studies author. And I am so proud. So first, tell us about what you're drinking today.
So today, I think I only have like one sip left because I've just been sitting here drinking it. I have Raspberry Imp from Dryad Tea, who I discovered at Gen Con, and all of the blends that I bought from them are just so good. It's like drinking liquid black raspberry, which I really enjoy.
Yum. That sounds amazing. So what does it mean to you being a professional game master?
Tabletop games were a hobby for me. And I, as a person with ADHD, feels the need to monetize all of my hobbies. But I had no idea that it would get this far. I don't know. It went from like something that I did in my living room with my friends to something that I want to make my entire career in. And so it means the world to me, anytime someone asks me to do GMing for them on a stream or for a private group professionally.
That's awesome. And you're on Start Playing Games, right?
I am on Start Playing Games.
Perfect. You should definitely check out Max on Start Playing Games because he runs such fun games. So what do you like about being a game master versus being a player?
I started as a player, and my friend John, who was my first GM, is also a forever DM type, and I can't thank him enough for like the immersive campaign that he really started us out with. And I love being able to sink into a character and kind of be who I wanted to be physically and have cool things like a holy avenger and like the ability to talk in people's heads. Like those are things I can't have in real life, but I can have them in a tabletop game. And I really enjoyed being able to live that, magical charmed life. As a GM, I feel like there's just so much for me. I love being this like puppet master and pulling all of the strings in a universe and being able to work with players who are usually people that I'm friendly with, if not my friends to create stories that weave in with each other and interesting NPCs for them to interact with and things for them to discover. It's a really rewarding experience for me.
Yeah. Well, and sometimes you actually have puppets.
Oh, why did I use that phrase?
You reminded
Yes.
me of my favorite thing I've ever seen you do on stream.
On the finale of Beyond the Corridor, which is a show I did on this channel last month, I needed to have a conversation between two NPCs, so I made them my hands and I made them talk to each other because I didn't want to keep saying this one is talking, now this one is talking. And Nikki really enjoyed this. And won't let me forget it.
I also got Max to draw a mustache on one so we could tell the difference between the two characters.
Yes, it was permanent marker. It took a while to get off.
oh, I thought it was eyeliner. Oh no.
No, it was like a thin tip permanent marker.
Cara in chat says Max is the GM that introduced me to dino chickens. I'll never forget. What's a dino chicken, Max?
The dinosaur shaped chicken.
I actually was never there for any dino chickens during that whole thing.
Dino chickens are like one of my safe foods. Like whenever I am really hungry but I don't have anything at home I want to eat, I'll eat dino chicken. It's always there for me.
Oh, like the dino nuggets?
Chicken nuggets.
Yeah, the dino nuggets.
I think she means in like a D&D aspect is what Cara's talking about. About during West Marches, you had dino chickens as one of the things they had to fight.
Oh. Yeah. Oh, I remember. I remember those.
Are great.
To be fair,
I'm with you on that.
I didn't write that location into West Marches. Chad did. You guys just walked past it, and I used it. So he has some of the credit there.
Well, we'll make sure to give him credit next time. So, what's your favorite NPC that you've ever introduced in one of your games?
Oh, that's such a tough. I regard my my first D&D campaign that I ever ran as the best thing I've ever run still. It just went for so long and it got so intricate. And I had this NPC, if any of my friends are watching this, they'll know them. This NPC Flint, who was a fire genasi, wizard, rogue, multi-class, who their backstory essentially was that they were a kid, they were pickpocket, not very well off or privileged in any sense, and eventually kind of became enamored with the idea of doing something academic and having this affinity towards learning magic. So they went to an academy for that. They met Flint in, I think, the second or third session of a year-long campaign. And throughout it, they got really attached to them. They weren't supposed to stay. They ended up getting captured. They, a brief gore trigger warning for everyone. They lost an eye being questioned about the party because people who were following them figured out that they were close. And then after the campaign, they ended up marrying one of my PCs.
Aww. NPC PC romances are some of my favorite. So aside from RPGs and TTRPGs, what are some other fandoms that are like a big part of your life?
Some other fandoms that are big part of my life. I am a huge My Chemical Romance fan.
Me too.
I am in a My Chemical Romance garb today. I have, as I like to tell everybody, I have Gerard Way tattooed on me. It's the coolest thing about me.
What?
I'm also, I'm really into haiku. I just released, I can't believe I'm talking about this on a show. I just released a novella length haiku fan fiction, which you can get through my AO3, which is on my card. I'm very proud of it.
So speaking of writing, what was like the most interesting thing you learned or the most interesting person you talked to during your work on your thesis?
That's a tough one. I think that it was most interesting to talk to people after I had finished my thesis than it was when I was doing the research. My thesis was on the game Myst, which was popular in the 90s. It was recently re-released for VR and had this weird resurgence. And it was very strange for me because people on my Twitter feed was like, haha, I'm streaming the new Myst. Like, no, you aren't. That's my game. Why do you know what that is? Yeah, it's had a resurgence recently. So I presented my thesis digitally at the Myst convention this summer, and that way I was able to talk to some other people in the community who have also done scholarship on Myst. So that was really interesting for me. And I also have gotten to talk to Katie Postma, who's the community manager for Scion Worlds, who started as a fan and became an employee there, about how I literally learned about her in a class my freshman year. And then we're Facebook friends now. So
That's
it's a cool connection I got to make too.
Someday you'll be that for someone else.
I really hope so. That would be sick.
So what can you tell us about your upcoming The Between campaign?
I am
coming up in December.
So excited for The Between, also on this channel. When I was reminding my mother today who Nikki was to explain to her what I had to do, I said, yes, Nikki employs me constantly. That was, that was the sentence I used. So The Between is going to be a holiday-themed horror campaign. I really like that brand of like it's snowing, but there's blood on the ground.
Ooh, yes.
It's going to be set in Victorian London, and it's going to feature a cast of characters who are a seasoned group of monster/supernatural hunters figuring out a mystery that I will not reveal here. You can check it out in December. And we have a great cast, including Nikki.
Yeah, I'm super pumped about that cast. So it's myself, Dee, who's It's the Riddler, Caleb, who is Extra Candy and is in chat, and Worldsmith Cam, who like is just an amazing name in horror and TTRPG, who I love. And I feel like I'm missing somebody. I thought there was 5 total players, but I might be wrong. Hopefully I'm not forgetting someone because that would be rude. If I'm forgetting somebody, either. I'm sorry. I have ADHD and I can't balance everything, and I do all of the scheduling for TTRPG, so I have a million people I'm thinking of right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm really pumped for that. And again, like, I used to not love horror, and bringing together this, like, bringing, like, GMs of color and queer GMs and all of these different people who have experienced different marginalizations, they're more likely to like not do something that puts me at risk. So it's been really amazing to have you come on our channel and run these different games, and to watch you do just amazing, awesome things. But yeah, so The Between is inspired by Penny Dreadful. So if that was your jam, you're gonna love watching The Between. And then my last question is, besides the Between, do you have anything else that's upcoming, or ideas running through your brain that you want to run in the future, or anything else you want to share about that?
Yes. In December, I'm going to be a part of a charity VTM 5th edition one-shot with Paper Crow. And that is just being sorted out now, but it's going to be really cool. It's an all queer cast, and we're raising money for an undecided charity right now. But I got my tabletop, I guess, like streaming or podcasting origins in VTM 5e, so it's interesting for me to circle back to it now that I feel more seasoned. I have always wanted to run masks. I've never actually gotten to. I've read the book like front to back, like a huge nerd. So I'd love to do that at some point. And I also would love to play or run Volley Boys, which is a sports anime inspired system by, I'm so sorry about the pronunciation of this name. I've been struggling with it for years. By Kevin Nguyen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been dying to run that system or play it, but I know that if I want to play things, I have to run them.
Well,
for
I know
ages.
some people. I could put that together for you, and I think I know somebody who might actually want to GM that. So I'll talk to them about it and see. It would have to be in the next year because they're also moving pretty soon. So, but I will talk to them about it and get back to you and see if we can put a cast together for that. So we're going to bring our musical guest back to do one more song, and then we'll bring everybody back. So if the cast, the guests have any questions for each other, they can ask those. And so, Stefani, Sunday comes afterwards. Whenever you're ready, you can start.
Okay, I'm actually going to cheat a bit. I have 2 songs. Each of them is less than a minute, so they're really short. So I think it'll be okay.
Yeah.
So this is a song. This is a filk about ships in the Northern Fleet, which is a steampunk airship show. If you're not familiar with it, you can Google that. There's a New York Times article earlier this year, which is pretty good. Anyway. Twiggity twaggity, we're blowing up gravity, keeping the fleet in the air. With the help of our techs and some special effects, of those who oppose us beware. Our captain made bail, so we're gonna set sail to take on the Necronaut Scourge. They think they're immortal, but we have a portal, and soon they'll be singing the dirge. Twiggity twaggity, we're blowing up gravity, keeping the fleet way up high. For answers we'll search and we'll sell lots of merch, so listen to our battle cry. Watch out for the tars of the sky. Updraft. So that's the first short one. Second one is, it is Halloween, so I figured I should do something that's vaguely appropriate for that. And this is a song about a horribly destructive force who for some reason is featured on PBS Kids. Size of a dinosaur, each day I grow some more, stomping and roaring, I'm kaiju. So many things to chew, buildings and bridges too, might also eat you, I'm kaiju. Your world is burning, what can I say? I'm radioactive and finding my way. Scholars who know the score say I'm a metaphor, don't ask me more, I'm just kaiju. I'm kaiju, kaiju. Kaiju, I'm kaiju. That's me.
Amazing. I was not expecting that. That was wonderful. Awesome. Well, let's bring back all of our guests and give them the opportunity to make connections with each other and things that they heard or ask any questions. So everyone, you're back on screen. Reese, like I said earlier, like Reese and I, it's our job to ask questions. So if you don't have any questions, you don't have to, but absolutely take it away if you do. Go ahead, Max.
Go ahead.
So, as someone who has written TTRPG successfully, Dare, I want to know what your best tricks or tips are for fleshing out a system from scratch, because I am trying to work on something myself right now.
Sure, actually. I am a very, I think, rules light GM, and I lean into that for everything I do. That's why I tend to shine with like PBTA stuff and just rip D&D apart whenever I run it, because I'm the perma GM of my friends. So when it comes to any of the stuff I run, I tend to leave mostly foundations, and let people's creativity shine. Like When the Sun Dies is a system where pretty much success and fails only thrive in like a D6. 1s and 2s are fails, 3s and 4s are like, a complicated success. 5 and 6 are straight up wins. And when I leave it that vague, people's creativity and fungibility really comes out. And that is how I tend to thrive in my writing. I am bad at rules.
Me too.
I have a question as well now. Just one right back to you. I am a huge superhero freak and masks aficionado. So what about superheroes? What do you love about superheroes / what's like the thing that makes you really want to like play it or run it?
I look back at my childhood and think about how many signs there were that I was trans that no one figured out before me.
Mood.
My first ever gender envy that I remember is Robin in Teen Titans. And so like Teen Titans and Young Justice were both franchises that were so important to me as a young trans person. And I love the way that Masks in particular presents the ability to explore the emotional side and the inner workings of superheroes. And it's not just about the I have this power and I'm fighting this villain that has this power. It's about the person behind the mask too.
Yes. I am a big Mask fan. I often use it as a lens to like re-examine my own transness. So
Yes.
mood.
I loved Tales of Amazing Aegis that they did on the Fey Realm, who has fully merged here now.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the admin team at Fey Realm has now joined forces with TTRPG, and so we are going to have one mega channel for all of our amazing friends that we've made and connections. And Kelsey and Darby will be are on our admin team now and are just freaking amazing.
Yeah.
And so it's a great merge. I'm super pumped about it.
Me too.
All right. I'm so excited to have you all on. This has been such a fun episode. Are there any other questions before we wrap up the show?
To keep it thematic,
Yes.
what is everyone's favorite Halloween movie or TV special to watch for the season?
Oh.
I'm gonna go with it's not fully Halloween, but it does give that vibe. It's got witchy vibes, and so I'm gonna say Bed Knobs and Broomsticks as like just a classic. Love it. That song when they're under the sea, like Cara and I sing that all the time. The bobbing along along the bottom of the beautiful briny sea. And I just love Angela Lansbury and the way that she sings, and so it's just a big comfort movie for me. But I did watch The Muppets Haunted Mansion, and it was super short and super fun, and I highly recommend. if you have Disney Plus, please watch it. It's so good.
I don't even think I really like Halloween movies, but you can't ever turn down The Nightmare Before Christmas. Like sometimes I just sing This Is Halloween for no reason in the middle of the summer.
Do I need to call on people? Pull a teacher?
I was leaving it. I've been
Teacher
talking
mode
a minute. I want to
activated.
leave it open to
There you
Stefani
go
first.
for it.
Oh, yeah, I'm not really sure. I don't know that I have a Halloween movie as such. I used to look forward to. There's a Halloween radio program that used to air locally every year, which I loved. But my favorite Thanksgiving movie, which is coming up and also has overlap with Halloween, is Addams Family Values. So I'm going to go with that as sort of the general seasonal thing.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I'm going to give a very dare answer, which is not anything like that. It's a YouTube video in particular. It is Ghost Choir by Louis Zong. It is like a minute long. It is one of my favorite songs ever. And I like every year Louis makes a new ghost based song. And it's just these cute little ghosts singing, and like there'll be other monsters sometimes showing up for like different accompaniments. I'm a musician as well, so like I really love it, and yeah, I every day it's one of my go-tos.
All right, Max.
Oh, mine for horror is Cabin in the Woods. I tell everybody to watch Cabin in the Woods. I turn into like an awful indie film boy when I talk about it. And
Good, pal.
also the Halloween Town franchise.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Amazing.
I think I have a question too.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Because I like to choose violence. Is Nightmare Before Christmas more of a Christmas movie or more of a Halloween?
See, that's the thing.
Why don't we
They
split the
actually
difference?
could-
and
I'm
say-
Jewish. It's a Halloween movie.
Right, I was
There
gonna
is
say-
no other
We could
option.
split the difference, and it's a Thanksgiving movie.
Yeah, true. I mean, I think it could be considered more Halloween if we think of it as like what Jack Skellington's motive is during the movie is to like destroy Sandy Claus, but you know, it gets a happy ending anyways, so that's where the Christmas comes in.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for joining us. I can't wait for our audience to see you in other places and to see you on upcoming TTRPG stuff. I'm going to transition back over to me and Reese for our outro. Again, I'm Nikki. I use she, her pronouns. I am co-creator with Reese here at TRPG. I am also an educator and an LGBTQ and disability advocate for teachers. And I am so pumped that we had such an amazing Halloween episode. I fucking love Halloween. So happy Halloween, everybody.
And I'm Reese, she, her pronouns. So excited that we got to have our Halloween episode. When I'm not on TTRPG, I'm working, but I don't even like my job, so I'm not going to tell you about it. And when I'm not doing that, I'm volunteering for the Miss America organization as a producer for a pageant. And we just had our pageant a couple weeks ago, and it was so fun. I can't wait to see what happens over the year with our new queen.
Awesome.
You can follow me at Miss Reese1 on Twitter and at Miss Reese on Instagram. And please be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. So you want to catch this episode again, you'll be able to watch it and tell your friends about it.
Happy Halloween, everybody.
Happy Halloween.